and I've felt so much more alive, like zesty. I've felt zesty. This stack of books. I would love to go to a garden center. You guys, it's my dream hat! Yummy, yummy. Good morning. Would you like your second breakfast? A little treat? Surf's cup. Whoa. Here you go. Love the viewers. Good morning, friends. Happy summer. Today is actually super overcast. It looks like it might rain. Yes, with the exception of today. The sun's been shining. It's been so nice and warm, and I've felt so much more alive, like zesty. I've felt zesty in the way that only warmth and sunshine can make you feel. It's been so nice. I've also managed to break through my reading rut. Finally, I've broken through. I read so many books at the start of the year, and then I ended up reading the Court of Thorns and Roses series, and after that I couldn't read a single book. Everything just felt so dull and boring in comparison, and I started and stopped so many books. And finally, just recently, I was able to read so much, including, but not limited to, this stack of books and some audiobooks. So I thought I'd start the vlog off by talking about what I've read recently, because I have some really good reading recommendations. But before I get started, if you have not already, go ahead and make yourselves a heartwarming cup of tea or coffee, grab your coziest of comfy blankets, and let's spend the day together. Peppermint. So, I've gotten my reading list, which needs updating. The first book that managed to yank me out of my reading rut was What the River Knows by Isabel Ibañez. Oh, you guys, it was so good, and she's coming out with a sequel in the fall, which I cannot wait to read. My friend Victoria recommended this book to me, and I'm so glad she did, because it was the perfect mix of adventure, fantasy, history, and female empowerment, which are all of my favorite things when it comes to books. It takes place in the late 1800s, if I remember correctly, just after the British Empire has conquered Egypt and is establishing its own rules and traditions. And it follows Ibañez, a girl from, I believe, Argentina, South America definitely, I'm pretty sure she's from Argentina, who travels by herself to Egypt during a time period in which it was highly unusual for young women to travel by themselves, to join her uncle's archaeology endeavors to uncover Cleopatra's tomb. And it's so rich with Egyptian history and adventure and imagery, and there's magic, though magic isn't the prominent part of the book. I love the way magic is involved. There are magical objects, and most all of these objects are ancient. They are artifacts, and the less an artifact has been handled, the more magical it is, because every time a person touches a magical artifact, some of that magic rubs off on them or wears away, and it's just a fun little detail in this book. After finishing that book, I jumped genres and ended up listening to Rebel Wilson's memoir. Oh my goodness, what's it called? Rebel Rising, and what a life story, you guys. I so highly recommend listening to it. Most often when someone's written a memoir, they've lived a super interesting, perhaps unusual life, and I always walk away feeling inspired by the decisions they've made through their experiences, and I found myself so inspired by Rebel's story. She had a super interesting upbringing, and she spent some time in Africa where she got malaria, and malaria is super deadly. She was hospitalized for, I feel like, multiple weeks, and while she was hospitalized, she went into like this coma state and had a vision of herself receiving an award for being an actress. Is it the Grammys? I don't know the popular awards for actresses and actors, but she had a vision of herself receiving one of those awards, and that is what inspired her to become an actress. But before that, she went to one of the best schools in the country for law, and she got a degree in law, which is incredible. I didn't know that about her. And then something else I found very interesting is that outside of the United States, a section of the book is banned or blacked out, and Rebel left that chapter or section of chapters in, and there's just black lines over the words because she wanted people to know that part of her story was missing. But in the United States, we have the freedom of speech, and we have access to those chapters or that chapter, and it's all about her experience, her very uncomfortable, dehumanizing experiences working with a man who's quite famous who mistreated her. Just to gloss over it, yeah, that part was hard to read, and I'm really glad that she included it. It's definitely not my story to tell, but if you want to be awed, inspired, and empowered, I definitely recommend listening or reading Rebel Wilson's memoir. After reading Rebel, I moved on to Welcome to the Hyunam-Dong Bookshop by Hwang Bo-Reum, and I think this is my all-time favorite book that I've read this year. I liked it even more than A Court of Thorns and Roses series for different reasons. A Court of Thorns and Roses is like just exciting, action-packed, and I don't know, it's a book that you binge. This book was a book that I savored. It had a very slow pace and it was so relaxing to dip into. And as is characteristic of Asian books that I've read, the wording and the sentence structure is really simple but profound. So the process, the pace of the story is slow. The happenings seem small, but underneath it all there is this really deep, meaningful purpose and lesson in the novel. And that's exactly what this was. So this story follows Youngju, who had everything that we're taught we should desire, like a good, stable career that pays well, a husband, a home, financial stability, and yet she has kind of a big mental breakdown due to burnout, and she ends up leaving her husband and deciding to pursue her dream of opening a bookshop. And we get to follow along as she establishes her dream bookshop, and we get little insights into the regulars that come to visit the store and her employees and all of their dynamics and how their friendships grow. And I'd say the underlying theme of this novel is happiness, which seems big and vague, and it is, but repeatedly throughout we learn what each character's idea of happiness is. So it's repeated over and over again, and it really makes you think, like, what makes one happy? What makes one fulfilled? What gives one purpose? Yeah, it seems quite abstract, but this book really simplifies it in a wonderful way. It's so heartwarming too. It's perfect. Okay, I only have 3 more to talk about. I did another genre jump and I read Dopamine Nation, Finding Balance in the Age of Indulgence by Anna Lembke. Wow. You guys, this book is so eye-opening. I have many pages dog-eared for notes that I took, and I'm not sure what to say other than this book inspired me to have more discipline in my life, because it's become increasingly difficult to focus, to feel discomfort, to be bored. And I really would like to be more disciplined with how I spend my time. I feel like I could be better. I'm very guilty of just vegging out on my phone. And this book jump-started me into doing something about it and really trying. Lastly, this morning I finished The Language of Spells by Garett Weyr, illustrated by Katie Harnett. The illustrations are absolutely adorable. Every single chapter has a new illustration and I love it. I especially love the borders. It's so perfect. You guys, when I read the prologue to this book, I was holding my breath. And I hold my breath when a book is perfect to me. So reading this prologue, I just couldn't breathe because it was so perfect, and I just wanted it to continue to be perfect, and I was nervous that it wouldn't live up to the perfection that it was setting forth, and thank goodness it lived up. I loved this book, you guys. It's so good. It's a children's literature book about a dragon who gets turned into a teapot and a very unusual girl who can see magic in the world, which when this story takes place, most people, the vast majority, can no longer see magic because they've forgotten how to look for it. The beginning felt like Peter Pan by J.M. Barrie. I loved the narrator, and the story is really sweet, lightly magical, of course, but at the heart of this novel is friendship. It was so good. The last time I read a book this good was last fall, and it was Rooftoppers by Katherin Rundell within the children's literature sphere. I liked Rooftoppers better, but this is a close second. So if you're hoping for just a heartwarming, magical children's literature read, I do so highly recommend this. All good books. Oh, I also listened to another memoir called Wildflower by Barrymore, and she specifically says it's not a memoir, it's just a collection of stories from her life, kind of like Matthew McConaughey's Greenlights. They were similar in that regard, like just stories from childhood to now, but not exactly a memoir. And it was super, super entertaining, and makes me want to watch all Drew Barrymore movies. Specifically 50 First Dates. I would love to revisit that one because it's one of my favorites. So that was another good read. And I think the book that I will read next is The Summer Book by Tove Jansen. And I picked this up at my most recent Powell's haul, so I've already talked about it. That puts me at 21 books read this year. I'm only slightly behind because my reading slump. I think at this point I should have read 25 books, so I'm 4 books behind. Behind what? We don't have reading goals anymore. It's just for fun. But my ego loves it when I read 50 books a year. So 21 books so far, and it's been, I think, my best reading year to date. Even with the reading slump, each book that I have read has happened to be at least very good. I have some fun plans for the day. I am actually getting my hair cut in about an hour. That's why my hair is currently up and slicked back. I washed it. I learned that hairstylists do prefer that you come to the salon with clean hair, even if they're going to wash it. Just makes it easier for them. But I'm getting a haircut just to trim, no worries there. And then afterwards, I would love to go to a garden center. It's one of my most favorite places to visit during summer. There's this nursery called Cornell Farms, and it's just this beautiful, sprawling landscape of flowers and everything any avid gardener could ever dream of. I do not consider myself an avid gardener by any means, but I do care deeply about my houseplants and my yard plants, and I want to grow some microgreens. My aunt recently gave me a microgreen growing kit, and so I thought that I would have a look at tiny little planters. And also, they have a wonderful selection of like journals and puzzles and home decor, soaps, you know, those sorts of things that are so cozy. Hats, straw hats, maybe I'll get a straw hat, but I want to get a journal. There's this journal that they sell that is just my all-time favorite that I've ever had. And the past few times I've gone, they've not had it, and I'm hoping that they will have it this time around. So, if that sounds good to you, I would love for you to join me. With how my hair turned out. It's always such a treat. I feel so pampered, and I'm always just blown away by how good of a job they do. So good. I'm very, very happy with it. So that feels good. I've just arrived at the nursery, and these are the little trays for my microgreens. I have 6 of these trays, and I'm gonna find something cute to set them in. That is my main goal for today, as well as finding my dream notebook and then having a sneaky look at straw hats, depending on how well priced they are. I may or may not get one. And then, perhaps most importantly, to enjoy all the flowers because they seem fully in bloom. Studio Ghibli, anyone? Petunias. This one looks like the night sky or like a wizard's robe. Well, there you go. It's called Starlit Midnight Sky. How perfect is that? I couldn't paint this better. It's perfect. Look at this explosion of color. Oh my gosh. It's just incredible. Wow, look at the symmetry on this one. I can't even believe that's real. What? I think these are called monkey tails. They're really soft. Kind of scary looking. This looks and feels like lamb's ear, but it's angel wings. It's so soft, you guys. I wish you could feel it. Why are flowers so perfect? They're so perfect. Okay, I've entered into the shop portion and I'm hoping they have my notebook. This is a really beautiful notebook. It's quite autumnal. Look at this little mushroom glass. Wow. And this one. And this journal is quite beautiful too. I just don't like the page quality. It's not my usual. It's very, I need something sturdier than this, but I love the cover. Same with the other. What's this? Ooh. Little oh, ballpoint pen. That's fancy. Ooh, I really like that. I found the journal, you guys. It's this one. Sophie Allrod. B6 fabric notebook, ruled paper, 60 pages. And it's so good. It's such good quality. I love the material. I found it! And it looks like it's the last one. I'm in the kids section. And I think I might have found my straw hat. It's a kid's hat. My head's really small. What do you guys think? Is this my hat? Oh, I'm so happy in this hat. You guys, it's my dream hat. And because it was a child's size, it was $25. All the other hats were like insanely expensive. And $25 is still a lot, but I got the children's discount. And I'm so happy. I am really hungry though. And I've been very into apricots recently. And My friend blew my mind when she showed me a new way to eat an apricot. So typically I've just bitten into them like you would an apple, and then I slowly make my way around the pit, but it's really messy and juicy, and then also tends to waste quite a bit of fruit because I can't get it all off the pit. She showed me you can literally like stick your fingers into the top of it and then split it open and pull out the pit. Look at that. Mmm. Mmm. Ooh, tart. Sour. Delicious. I've lived my whole life not knowing this, so I thought maybe someone out there might also not know it, and if you love apricots, it's convenient. I wonder if you can eat a peach the same way. I wanted to show you guys what I got. Obviously, the hat. I also picked up some cards, and I just thought they were really beautiful, and some of them are really silly. Rue's excited that I'm home. This one, let's see. You amaze me. And it's just literally a goose with a pretzel on it. And I don't know. It's so random and I just absolutely love it. And then we have for a dashing fellow. That bird is quite dashing. I also picked up a couple inspiring words from across time for gift tags, bookmarks, and sharing. These are cards and bookmarks with quotes. So this one says, "Make your life be like a wildflower, growing freely in the beauty and joy of each day." A Native American proverb. I thought that was really beautiful. And this has 3 different bookmarks as well as a card. And I also picked up a card that says, "If you look the right way, you can see that the whole world is a garden." And it's really lovely. And I have a friend whose birthday is coming up this weekend, and I feel like she embodies this quote. She sees the world like a garden. She's just such a ray of light, and I thought that was the perfect birthday card for her. I got my journal. This one's bumblebee themed. My previous one was strawberry, and I'm happy to have another. This is the perfect journal for my morning gratitude lists. I also picked up some pretty washi tape. It's vine themed. So if you order anything from my shop after today, I'll wrap it in this. And lastly, I couldn't resist. Look at this beautiful container. Maybe I'll use this for colored pencils or something of the sort. It's so pretty. It's a pen. It's a ballpoint pen, and it's just so beautiful, and I had to have it. So I find myself more likely to write if I have a pretty pen. So investing in a pretty pen goes a long way. I didn't find any trays for my microgreens. Everything just was either too short or way too big. So I'll start off with the trays that the pack came with and then go from there.
You up and the lights go down. You love it when nobody's around.
This is crazy. What?
So give me a minute to catch my
First
breath.
flower I've seen. Oh my gosh.
Oh no.
I thought that this was dessert, and I am now disappointed.
Yeah, you thought it looked delicious, to quote yourself.
Oh.
It's dirt.
I thought it was dessert.
Hello.
Hey, Rue.
Hi, buddy. Will you give me a kiss?
Ah. Ah.
Oh my gosh, this was crazy! I was not expecting this.
I am quite disappointed that it wasn't brownie cake. Little mini brownie cakes.
Aww.
It will turn into microgreens,
Yeah,
which
even
is
better.
healthier than brownies.
Alright, once the soil has been expanded, fluff expanded soil with a fork to make sure that the disc has fully expanded. Check. The soil should be damp, not wet, so if there's excess water, squeeze it out gently with your hands. This feels good, feels good. Scoop out 3 tablespoons of soil and set aside and spread the remaining soil out in an even layer along the bottom of the tray. Open the seed packet, sprinkle all the seeds evenly across the soil. Cover the seeds with the 3 tablespoons of the soil that you observed earlier. I love sunflowers. I simply cannot believe that this is now what my kitchen windowsill looks like. Look at that! Grow, my little plant babies, grow. They're gonna be so good. Well, that was really fun, and apparently in 7 days I'll have microgreens that I can eat. And I'm sure some of you will be curious. The brand or the package was Zesty Greens, and I believe they have a website, and you can go on and select which microgreens you'd like to receive. When I got home, I saw that my stickers for Patreon this month had arrived. So every single month, I illustrate a postcard and a sticker to mail out to my cinnamon and clove patrons on Patreon. And this is this month's postcard. It makes me really very happy. It was a real moment that happened. And it was my first time ever drawing Monsieur Roux in his most favorite couch position, which is upside down with his legs in the air. If you guys have been here for a while, you will definitely have seen Monsieur Roux lounged out. And it made me so happy to draw him like that. And I liked it so much that I decided to make it this month's sticker, and the stickers have arrived. I always get nervous before I look at them. Let's see. I illustrate the postcards and stickers myself, and then I mail the designs to different companies to print them into sticker form and postcard form. And I currently get my stickers from Jukebox. They are based in Canada, and they have eco-friendly sticker options, which is very cool. Well, look at him, you guys. This is how he is in the postcard. This is the sticker. I'm gonna put this on everything. It makes me so happy. This is a happy, happy dog. Here he is. And I purposefully made this sticker a bit bigger because I envisioned it going on my gallery wall. This picture frame has remained empty since I did my gallery wall, and the plan was always to put a portrait of sorts of Roux in there that I drew. And I want to put this sticker in there. So let's do it. It has nails on the back of it, or screws, I mean. I have to unscrew them. Da-da-da-da. Here he is, in his best position, his most favorite position. Is it? Did I do that right? And Monsieur Roux. Here you are. Do you like it? I love it. It makes me so happy. Oh, it's so silly. It's perfect. I've switched rooms because it got really noisy in the living room. Our neighbors are having yard work done, and it was just a leaf blower right by our front window, so I've moved places. But if you would like to receive Monsieur Roux in sticker form, sprawled out in his best self, please sign up to my Patreon by the end of the month, specifically July 1st. If you sign up to the cinnamon and clove tier on my Patreon by July 1st, you will receive this postcard and sticker from me in the mail. These monthly postcards and stickers are how I make my living, and I so appreciate every single one of you who has purchased one. Whether you're on my Patreon for a month or more, it makes a difference, so thank you. And always, again and again, 1,000 times over, thank you for being here. Your time and your attention are gifts that I don't take lightly. I appreciate you and I love you. Seriously, each and every single one of you, I love you. Multiple times a week, a day, I focus on sending love from my heart directly to yours. I'm so serious. You're just incredible. And I will see you again soon.